Yang sendi nyepatang kurtidang susu cepala mitashi mimi roatun nyewe kanzaki da mebe tawan nambar tago kondo jube tulambe kwete zamme tawata jana jambata nije tanchaju kisana chisam kumba chekyang dungai dirta tawa tumi super mini bichirdes ate ngonere arachu ta khar sungarna chip sendi nyepa kurti disam jelteni Matachi, Mune, Krola Candisto. Tendi to Niri and the Gaza Chigi. This is much as a Garzana, Sam Vistawa. Segure, Sasum, how Chedita Cachesu. Garjin in Dame Vistawa Solvers and Dame Vistawa singing Masova enough. Any Chamni, Chamki, Sam Kona, Sonam Labush, Chigrite. Yomola Nugumaris, Danzin and Nugumaris. Danzin de Dame Vestawa, Koda Chick. Danzin Sinde, Lochinchilo, Jean Mendegi. Didala, Didan Gada Musi in the Dame Vestawa, Lit Danzin and Nugri, Danzin and Novena, Maranzu, Nomon, any chick, later Nomontus. Sawan never chatted. What that you do, Didala, Rami the Star Sindi. Chinangi Capardo, that to Tugata, that to Motu, the Chip Money, Dame the Tower, there are, Tanda Dinana, Tunda Savena, Rafe Jane to go Chinangi Sudo, Chinangi Caparde, that to Tower, Chumindi, Chirolpa, that to Tower, Matu Kendi. Numbers of touch and thinking judge, touch it soon to
us. Continue with the text, page 147. Moreover, persons who are not looking for material goods and respect in this life, nor for poetry, but who seek liberation from the depths of their hearts, must work at the means of understanding the correct view of selflessness. So, as mentioned here, if you are the person who are interested in freeing yourself from the cyclic existence or the suffering, then what you must do is seek the understanding of the correct view of selflessness. And for no matter how much you have internalized love, compassion, and the altruistic aspiration to enlightenment, if you are without the profound view of selflessness, you are unable to remove the root of suffering. So it doesn't matter, how much you have, realized, as said here, the internalized love, compassion, altruistic mind. Of course, this will help you to accumulate immense positive merits, but this won't bring any change, any movement to the delusion, affliction, self-grasping, which are the root cause of the cyclic existence. And so, therefore, in order to eliminate the root cause of the cyclic existence, or the root cause of the suffering, one must have the understanding of the selflessness, view of selflessness. And here, author has very decisively, said here that view of selflessness is necessary in order to eliminate the root of this suffering or cyclic existence. And this will also come later in the text that the main differences between Buddhist and non-Buddhist school is based on the acceptance of the selfless acceptance of self, and in Buddhism, selflessness. In non-Buddhist, existence of self or inherent existence of self.
That tindi digala za sindi ngaso jejutai de za sindi tangbu za to moto za sindi kawan to de jejutai tangko de jejutai digala za sindi ngaranzo 풍부 초발라 가 어니 세부터용 그래 풍부 초발라 따나 풍부 나이여서니 라양 나고 그래 야니 라치 마도 매인상 풍부를 따와이나 풍부 양치 마도 맹해 보다 두세 다 뒤지다가 거기 12균났다 시발이 따뱅 사 보다 두시니 라디 제지다 다 지를 받아서 라 신데 메나 자체단 제바보단 다지 유니미라 차루도 데인디가라 라디 인짐지 구도 라지 쭈구도 세네 라 체동아도 쭈지 애니페 지다 라 데나니 렘바투바 추두바 애니 그루아메바 오다 지 죄지 숨댕기가 안 되고 그래 민집에 따바 참메비 지부 제기 일부자데 교체숨도 때리 어때 처럼도 때리 나치도 그래 어때 디니도가라 라티 직 하기다 치료받아 남배 두다 마와게 소시지데 소소다 나한테 투디어 했어
Excuse me. So when we talk about the selflessness, whether self exists, independently or not, here first, we need to know what is the self, and for that, this will also come later in the text, but you can think about when we talk about self, or what are we actually talking about? Where is self? Is this aggregate self? So if you consider aggregate as a self, then just like there is a 5 aggregate, there will be 5 self, which is not true in real sense. And if there's one, if you use sort of self as a one entity and then kind of designate that on the aggregate, then there should be one aggregate, which is also not the case. Then is the stream of consciousness or continuity of the consciousness is the self. So here one need to kind of examine, try to find out what is the self, where is the self. Non-Buddhist school in general, they intentionally create a self because they need a self. Without self independently existing, for them it would be like it is equal to nothingness. So in order to have the phenomena functioning, working for them, non-Buddhist school, they intentionally create a self, except the self which is this will come also later in the text. Self with the 3 qualifications: self or a person, single, independent, and permanent. So they accept that kind of self. And in Buddhism, of course, that kind of self doesn't exist. And selflessness or self is one of the main, kind of topics where Buddhists and non-Buddhists debate.
Ati gyabdara nilu tege tuji zun zonga bachime nilu tobe shera mildena ninju chanje sanda komche kya sibi tsawa chopar minni terji tende tobe thalo bese sibi tsawa danji mari pa ta tiche la dame to bure dame mato na ani sibi tsawa la nigu mari zeta ta tu chine tha chedi kacha tesun ko ara otati indugala chik ngaranzu za tu tu matu da tu yeme da sin di karagendu oda dus chini yang yang du zeje tang te chima zeje tang ba de muni ke chim cha de da tu tu ma da chola yuni zeje ma dan ji ni ji kombai na da de ni je da jaji ki sem ka je na chi tha tu ke phagi denji 직 코르왈린 갈로야 근데 된 자원이네 매서래 진이 매 인자 직파기 가된직 문이 코르왈레 돌아야 남주 진짜베이나 아니 직 텐델람바이고레스 다 텐델데라 텐델 차라망고 용그레 유겐 텐델 유 주바 디불라 떡과 디부에는 배 줄라 떡과 오다 두두기 유제용 텐델라 용그레 아니 당이 또다섬기 텐델스데 두스체네 다 유겐기 텐델데 아니 직 남베 주다 뭐 시간도 거 두두기 텐델데야 지근도 그래 당이 또다 점승인데 발전 당규와 직보 차대요 차모 차대요 보다 거기 아주 유기인 텐델데 대상 세리바나 퉁거 아래 주면은 주케 밀린 거네 그직 하고 거야 또 선전지나 하고 거야 디부지 지 좋아라 유지 무고여 받아 만전 남주인데가 만자 하고 거 어디 도지라 이 이모빈이 주고라 이연되긴 차려 대 거기 개천보지 보다 대도 배설지 양양도 삼당 왜대 개천보레스 대날 따외 꼴사 방왔다 라메 차럽기 림방에 버자위 치르 라징기 투데 남다 너르디 조발라니스 다 지리템바 제라도 셰바스 때 도스체네다 sabjeti 도술랑용도 와스
page 147 the middle of the page the indented paragraph this is actually not the translation of the Tibetan text I think this is the the author's own kind of explanation it's just, it kind of defines what is the love and what is compassion or maybe I will read it. I think it is nothing. No problem. Maybe it will help to understand. Love is the wish that all sentient beings be joined with happiness. Compassion is the wish that all sentient beings be separated from suffering. The altruistic aspiration to enlightenment is the wish to attain Buddhahood in order to help all sentient beings. In order to carry out these three wishes, one must overcome the cause of suffering, which is the ignorance that misconceives the nature of persons and of other phenomena. The foremost Venerable Great Tsongkhapa says in his three principal aspects of the path, if you do not have the wisdom realizing the way things are, even though you have developed the thought definitely to live cyclic existence, as well as the altruistic intention, the root of cyclic existence cannot be cut. Therefore, work at the means of realizing dependent arising. So again here, Lama Tsongkhapa emphasized the importance of wisdom, and wisdom here, he mentioned about dependent arising or dependent origination. So without this understanding of the selflessness, dependent origination or dependent arising, there is no way that we can free ourselves from the selfish existence. And here it is important to kind of spend some time, as said before, try to understand what is self that we always use in our day-to-day life conversation. What is self? Where is it? Where is it? Does self exist independently? It's important to kind of investigate. The dependent arising or dependent origination. Here, mainly kind of refers to the two dependent origination, although there are several types. The first one is a dependent origination of cause and effect. The cause and effect dependent origination is valid, scientific, can be understood by common sense. If there is fruit or result, we can we know that the cause should be preceded in order to have the result. So this is common kind of understanding. And second part, interdependence. dependent origination of interdependence. This is relying upon each other for its own existence. And these two dependent origination are commonly accepted by all school of thoughts. And now the next kind of dependent origination of simply conceptual designation. This is much subtler as compared to the previous two, and this is probably accepted only by the highest school of thoughts, middle way consequence school. Hence, in order to remove faulty views and to delineate the gradation of coarse and subtle selflessness, I will give a brief explanation of our own and others' presentations of tenets. This explanation has two parts, a general teaching and a detailed explanation.
당보 질된 받을라 두타제베 당이 라서 마인데스 두타지인데 에 군진 지명 뭐 그런 게 최소를 제시하거든요. 된다와는 많이 이제 말해. 가르치는 이 상기기 롱을 때문에 배 지지바데스 두타지인데 상기 롱을 때문에 좀 말해스. 예, 대한지게도 랑가르 샤발레 나이 추수 남기데 템바타니 두다오 집안 남나 템바르 나저발라 두다오 다예 대양 니 추수데 좀 된데랑게 추수들라 니용레스 상기 템바스데 직하게 운동게 템바테당 두타 니용레스 니 로야 충충 니시키 다 남저 맨데긴 짤맹인데라 ini cik bagi nunggu ke tembares. Serap gital yungi cik cui ya yemen jete gundela juta de tembares. Wata tuh sini cik jiba sih jiba dela nasi jiba. Ini samlo cijung jiba. Ini toba yang tenegi tani jiba susiki os yang papala ini be ini 즉 동일 마다긴 간사들라 디한 집았을 도스치네 집에 당연히 망보지고도 단다디 바지 집았으인데 시행기 전에 셰럽기 잘 던던 두근다 뭐두근 두근들라 미두근들라 집았어 두근들라 두토마 왔어 도스치네 순거래스.
Now going on to the first part, that is a general teaching, tenets in general, on page 149, our own and others' tenets in general. The expression tenets, Sanskrit word is siddhant and Tibetan word is drupta, is not my own fabrication because it was mentioned in Buddha's scriptures. So here, the author is saying that this word, which is used for his title, tenets, is not his own, creation. This word is, in fact, actually is from the Buddha's own teaching, sutra. And so he quote here that from the Dizin into Langa Sutra says, my doctrine has two modes, advice and tenets. To children I speak advice, and to yogis tenets. So in the scriptures, Sutra, Buddha says that his way of teaching, there are two types, and the first one is here the word translated was advice, and it's also kind of translated generally as a teaching too, general teaching, and the second is more kind of specific tenets. And the first one is for the advice is for the children. So children, this word is used in different kind of several different ways in Buddhism, and one is of course just like its literal meaning, young, small, young age. The another way is children refers to the person with low intelligence, person with high intelligence. So as compared to them, low intelligence are considered as children. And then again, another way is arhat or superior being. Superior being, as compared to the superior being, ordinary beings are children, and that is another sense that is used. And also, if you achieve or attain special realization, you are normal children. But without any realization, you are considered as simple children. So here, people with low intelligence, low understanding, Buddha has taught, he's given his advice, not tenets. And tenets is only for the, yogis, followers with high intelligence.
남체 마두나 같이 로야게나 지바랑 잡아요. 아니 디 중원나 동이 마도나 마도 버도 양가서 도베가니 양 지바스키고 차고 와. 어떤 디 인두가라 잡대 버루기 남주기 차니 바기 지바데 제다마제 수수 남체 떤 두마두가 달래.
So the worst children here, like you said, most of us here are already, we don't come under the children based on age, of course, we are already, but still we are children if you look at the other two kind of category based on, one, whether one has the understanding of emptiness or not, without understanding of emptiness is still considered as a children or ordinary being, human being. And the another one is, high intelligence. So this one depends on, individual. If you study and use your intelligence and able to understand, the deep philosophy, profound meaning, then you can kind of, cross the boundary of children and, normal children. So that depends on oneself.
다메라 파기 단진의 견도다 단진 빵답지 단진 빵나 다 집어 순간에 대해서 앞에 단진 빵다 동인 무슨도 더 뒤념이 있더라 대 집어 순간에 대봤대 오늘 다 오늘 설치 지나 지린 좋아지래 겨울무슨 순도 동이 더는 설지 kinh nghiệm 적어서 성도서 공도서 순도 때문에
once we achieved the understanding of emptiness, or once we realize, or once we eliminate grasping to, self or self-grasping, then we can say that, we are normal children in all sense or all contexts. Then we can stay kind of relaxed, calm. And His Holiness always kind of says that, once he understood, or once he reached the level of, attaining of understanding the emptiness, and he's going to relax.
that tu sindikala tu tha sindi ngone namche te twindingi dindigi loja yendingi jigi ta di chadiyore ta tilayang tangboni jumda dera tutelo gyurwada tutelo magyurwa ni yongre esete ta tangboni jungla maja mata maje pra lo lenki gi sindi dewa tondo nyerwa nyora chabao nibane jungla jade jilan risum gi namja rangi longor tube su lungda ripe lamne mawar chepe chepate seta tutelo gyurwe magyurwe tonde jungla gyuni Hagi maja taji gyun mata che tape kepse se monde ranchen de yade tata karare oda pete lingana chunchun dibu mendengi kale mendengi tape kepse tape sangi king se tape chik ta chulu mambenala chik jiten jeba bo khele ni wanju di archana wanju king sendegi doa indu mangoche Then that divine and God ki chichidre, Kanga God ki chidre, so sope, you have to chidwa. And in Namba in Andachi, Tumba Chingilaburis, Tumbarang sooner, me chingila to marry cannot some message of what sooner they tell her Petage, Donna Machache, and some big chingilaburi is a do, Shenelo and there. What a do, Shene, send the Devatan to the near the Tana. Leta succede de yade ta tutelo maguru tontate tutelo guru azde ta tagi kondu jona jin sharab ki salto 로 푸드 좋아지 남주던 다샤체 아니 또 세네 지중라 장제 장바제제 랑기 미지 리자마임바 옛날에 푸기 파기 이데 푸기 푸양 링베 돈다두야 딘디기 에네베 똑바 제투니 오다 딘디기들라 두데 로기와스 대야 직 하기 유제면대가 유제나 트라지 리페 에네베 디제데스 줌데게 오다 텔라 두데 로기와 오다 두데 로기와 찡인가나 남지 땡고레 살땡고레 알릭자고레 오다티 베게치모도 아테 두데 다시테서 두데 로기와다 마기오에 땡테서 오두스레데 양양도 삼당고레 게치모레스.
Further, there are two types of persons: those whose minds have not been affected by tenets, and those whose minds have been affected by tenets. So here, there are two categories: people who are affected by tenets or who have studied tenets, and those who have not studied tenets at all. The first one, those whose minds have not been affected by tenets, seek only the pleasures of this life with an innate awareness that since they have never studied a systematic presentation, neither investigates or no analysis. This could also refers to people with those who follows only what we call blind faith. They just out of strong blind faith, what they will do is may God knows, may higher being knows, and then may Shiva knows, and so for those people they have less responsibility, and they have also less result, and so they basically kind of put all responsibility towards some higher beings, other beings, and even in Buddhism also, they are Buddhist followers who kind of rely completely upon Buddha for blessing. In fact, Buddha himself has very clearly said that I cannot transfer my wisdom or pick up your suffering. It depends on your own effort. So those first kind of people, they are more or less little bit better than animals. They have life, but they just kind of completely involved into how to sustain this livelihood, and they don't kind of look beyond or into far or long-term purpose. The second, those whose minds have been affected by tenets have studied some system such that within citing scripture and reasoning they propound a way of establishing a presentation of the three bases, paths, and fruits, which is established for the perspective of their own understanding, though not necessarily true in fact. So the second group, those who are affected by tenets, they studied some, concept or philosophy or view, and then, based on that, they sort of use their full, skill or wisdom or intelligence that they have, and try to understand, and achieve, long-term objective or purpose or meaning. And they will base whatever, approach that they follow through on logic, analysis, investigation. So here what we know is from these two kind of classification, if you want to become under the second category, affected by tenets, then you need to be using your skill, intelligence, you need to be making lots of effort. So when you read the text, it is important, kind of helpful to think, this way of taking the meaning indirectly from the text.
Indrigi ripelang jang each javena mi changchung pe chabarda chimba jangurmu sungdo jangurmu chidane science tan tele ke jangni no mate ngone ji 둘이 할레비 둘이 사보지 아니 남베 생이 중데 할레비 지바침보 낭 도스지 대나인상 간다 즉 세리 등염도 가면되는 주디가라 미마로 투주라랑 용구미도 스티와 가르다나 텔레랭기아라기도 우스스도 아니 파티와 단데 삼산의 테리버도 저게 미마 투주주고도 그니 가능도 이 니가라 리필람 생데 오네타네 직하기 푸니 한도 얘기긴 짐바데 깨지겠다 말도
So, when you use your brain or mind to investigate, understand more, this will definitely have a positive impact, for yourself, and it will make a big difference. And His Holiness often says that, although he has no knowledge about modern science, but he spent a lot of time with debating or arguing with the scientists, and because of his study of epistemology, the study of logic of Buddhism, it helps him, and he used to say that he don't left quiet all the time, but when he asked questions to other scientists, sometimes they remain very kind of quiet, they don't respond. But for him, because of what he studied so far, at least there is something for him to say in response. So, it will make you kind of more creative, able to think more.
But in America, Harvard University, the one chick, then Sumla, Gishitendela, science lab at Amidoach. Lade Lolo Ladapagi, Sondis of the Nichitigala, University Yagin Dizo, Inji Tony, Koda Matagada, Tiny Koda Mater Mado, Gigani, Janguchuna, normal Pagi, Mijila Lavadan, Pejatan de Ribijunal, Jan de Lavingilla, Keber Shadus, Le Lavo, Sajimbo, any Riba Nurvo, Ripa Tangato, the Consul Labjole. Riba manga tang tu du subo. Kisan jalo mu jikalo na pe se bo. Tino ho nang pe chik lovin cholang da chotala Koran do semi jung de ribi jung ru de alle be yabu ji insa. Ti ungo aramata te mada masu mi leba nga chi bachi bichi bara. Khache ribi mi leba de la ribi jung ru de. Pet te kan ngama chemden de ni zo de cholang chora는 zonde 때더니 용 따라 때때 누구야 갖고 이게 때못 차리 다 때려 봐.
And there's also exchange of studies. Now experts from Harvard University, like Harvard University, they go to monastery in India, and then they teach science and math to geishas and monks. And from their experiences, His Holiness also says this in his one of his talk, that the monks who have studied Buddhist texts for many years, for them, although there is a language problem, but there's a big difference of teaching science and math to the monks than as compared to students who have no background of Buddhist understanding. And the monks and geishas, they pick up really quickly, and quick kind of way of understanding the meaning. And when they ask questions and argument, they can go much deeper. And this is because of the their study of logic subject of Deknak, Dharmakriti, and this text has been starting from the Buddha's time, has been well established, and it has its own kind of subject to to learn and study, the logic. We'll stop here and spend remaining time if you have any questions. We'll continue next Sunday.
Is Geshe-la going to, within the context of this, discuss the 12 links of dependent origination?
Discuss 12
links of dependent
and then
origination.
So if it is needed, we can have a separate time for that, because 12 dependent origination itself takes one lecture session. Yeah.
First question. There's two. Second question depends on the answer. Is the doctrine of the two truths unique to human?
Deni stembani di umabala mixegi di resa madachi kalore. Tumo mandi kejiro jisago resa deni shoro umabala. Yes. Like I said, in the later you will see that all four schools has a true truth. Yeah. And they use the same kind of term, conventional and ultimate truth. But when they interpret, there's a slight different meaning from different schools.
So in the bottom three schools, the understanding of what ultimate meant really wasn't ultimate.
And dudokon omasumgi tandam demba chora. Dida umatinju elusna tandam marwalo. Yeah, that's right.
So then my question for my last question, real simple, believe it or not, is that the whole process of logic is just to be able to reduce everything down to absolute zero.
아니 너 생이로 하던다 lam shung다셔라 기간다다 전다도에다 찾아 마마마 내신다 하러 개부지 매어지라고 개부지 마임버지가 마 파부로 하려 어때 아메리카 개발도 망보기 때문에 어때 다가랑 삼탄 거래스 said many American experts, they actually say the same thing, and everything comes down. 여러 문제 trouble 하고 싶지 아메리카
So I'm in.
Yeah. Lockdown. Through lockdown, lockdown checking this. Now, just let's go. Tona yogi. Hindi gala gyar mujhe jaga les. Jaga le. Ini kena to American nala dapat seba mampu yare. Ini nampi pergi tawala. Tazul condition tu uski. Dua tahun. Dua tahun tu gala ini pergi orang cila tona cembu yare. Jadi gala nampi ini pe December madu se de. Shirai yabu yores. Ina December madu de mere tongi se de. Gumbu lutu gipe champu thap je rikpe champu thoje di che rama. Ka ju de ke me la chares. Ke me se la chares. Di kan tar shibi yores la du se. La sungda chambu ru se. Ka ten na marwa mone chana. Hagi December madu se de December de. Ngana tu nang chun na jinji Europe is in the Amarwa, now to the Pagini Lo Letiorwa. Lo Lepiong, now to Nations, your Mare, pay them to your Maris. Yes, who are. Then you never on the tiny to you what it Gugu Amarwa, that's it. He said, His Holiness has a very good friend, American, very, learned scholar, and he has a great interest in Buddhism, and he learns Buddhism a lot. And then one time His Holiness asked that his friend, how does people in general in America they look at Buddhism? And then he said his answer was that although a lack of true existence, the emptiness concept is really kind of nice and good, but it looks like Nagarjuna is trying to be kind of trying to be really creative and cunning, and he's trying to, at the end, it all came down to saying that there's sort of, nothing, everything's empty. So that is kind of strange. And so Vishal said that people have, even those who have who have learned, spent a lot of time in Buddhism, still kind of have this kind of understanding. And in reality, of course, it is not like that. In Buddhism, when it says that lack of true existence, emptiness, it is not at all saying that nothing exists at all. What it is saying is that the phenomena doesn't exist as if it appears to us. The appearance to us has some, mistaken, some, there's some wrong. So the appearance to us, phenomena doesn't exist at that same way. And so ultimately, phenomena doesn't exist independently, but at the conventional level, all does, and they function.
먼저 하기 던는 바세 됐다고 내말 동의도비 세마디 냠자 버체멜은 잡고라 이는 말레바 로마투아 디율이 인사 돈담된 바스 나랑 좀 능술도 두바들라 군소된 바세 딩이 개버 다 우마베 룩서자도.
So according to the middle way consequence school, the highest school of thoughts, when they differentiate between ultimate and conventional truth, they say that it is ultimate truth because it is ultimate to the understanding or to the mind of the meditative equipoise, and the meditative equipoise is considered as the standard, valid, mind. So therefore, it is ultimate. And it is conventional because it is conventional to the mind of the ordinary beings. So they differentiate this way between ultimate and conventional truth.
So basically, what I'm saying is, all the other schools, their interpretation of ultimate is still on this side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what, even a person who's studying and practicing Madhyamaka Prasangika, even in their everyday life, is still on this side of the fence. They still might have an understanding philosophically, but it is still using convention. With the whole, no matter what, if it's not Buddhahood or in that equipoise, it's still at least a minimum Swatantra.
The condition of Dodola de Shachor, but the almost Mutananda Majora, Dinda Dosho de Yoro Asata, Umatinju, which is Jadana, but another Marwala was it.
디 루르다가 루 지자전데 차기도요 말데 거기 더디베 된다베 던단데 바도 뭐부터인지 뭐보시인데 간이 던단데 바도 뭐부터인지 내가 알아 디 군소된 바도 따봤던지 디 인도야 대당 도줄대라 때니 디로 과시케이나 딜레 센자면 도출데 또서 과타로 차고 거기 과를 핑겨 레다 탕규를 타나 레다래요 말ते 이나양 거기도 마고나 감감마도 과야를 빼 가버려 대인도가라 군진자지 오메 타운 코미티 쓰고 코마를 떼그리스 타와 라강레 오메 타와도 코메 타와레 레요 레즈 숨고 말데 오마 tawa koala, komil tawa koala, omik tawa koguguri, it's a.
So, what you said is correct. According to middle way consequence schools, the lower three lower schools, ultimate truth is not ultimate. But, as said before, without having the understanding of the lower schools, you won't have the understanding of the middle way consequence schools. So, again, the Kunjin Jagan Sherpa, in his text, he says that the higher concepts or philosophies of the higher schools are sort of, carried by the lower schools. So, in order to reach to the highest level, one has to have the understanding of the lower schools. And, for example, when we look at the Sutra-only school, for the Sutra-only school, they interpret that ultimate truth is same as the object, phenomena, thing. And conventional truth is same as the permanent, non-changing. But if you don't understand this, you will have a difficulty in understanding the higher school, mind-only school. So if you have this understanding, you are sort of one step closer to understanding of the philosophy of the mind-only school.
Kenza la pecha kdo tek chitigala Kenza temsu yayena oma tangbo temsu tangbo de temsu yaba de redela go marwa ina da yaba le level oma da za urwa peso le.
So it's same as stepping on the when you climb up the step. It's not saying that first couple of the steps that you need to reach to the higher are same as the last couple of them, but in order to reach to the higher, one has to use whatever is lower, or so the lowers are also kind of necessity required. So this way of thinking is important, and it's also helpful in understanding the techniques itself.
Tangazolo Ijipju Ninjuton Sumni Jangaji Verite, Tadoya Masheba Pemoto, Belkadina Samritandego.
He said for himself, he started learning Buddhist since 1973, and still there are, a lot of things that he feels that he needs to study more and learn more. And there's always, out there kind of, that you feel that you need to understand and learn more.
Could Geshe-la repeat again the third type of dependent origination?
The third one is you can it says simply a designation by conceptual thought. And this is the dependent origination, accepted or interpreted by higher school of thought, middle consequent school.
So that's a more subtle level.
Yeah, more subtle. And His Holiness, in fact, actually used, dependent. Emptiness of dependent origination. He used this term more than simply using emptiness. Otherwise, people might, confuse emptiness with nothingness. So, dependent origination, emptiness of dependent origination. And in fact, if you use this term, it is more easy to kind of understand and interpret, the nature of the phenomenon. Yeah.
So may this be the English interpretation of the word, using the word emptiness as a source of confusion? It causes all these American experts to maybe be misguided.
인지기 emptiness 동의 라셔로 디그 망고지에 가서 코노티브에서 그래서 인지를
today 인지를 ngамang에 마티시신데 라 잠바 기규치가 되게 람뇨 다 네스티기 emptiness 간라 네스지 저거도 네스티기 과지 줄드기 뚱기나 간샤 말다 emptiness 통바라로 왔다 통바 제는 너야 인가래 제는 되게 람뇨.
They said, maybe, and he remember when he was down at GCC Bloomington, because his translator at that time is also using the same word, emptiness. So he remember saying that if ness, using the ness makes a difference, he kind of hopes that the ness is making a difference. Otherwise, empty, just simply saying empty, people might kind of understand as kind of nothing. So there is a, kind of high chance that people might confuse when they listen to this word, emptiness.
지단은 윤점을 고란 게 이 대반세 되가라 말씀 점에 셔랍 하루친 마키 민가 남큰 오니 소소라리 이치 주일 왔었습니다. Maranzo Suzuki, Maru Yudumeke. Je ne je be Yudumeke. And Nyamja Sosorari, Ishi Kone Yuli in the game. Then is right. You want it, was it? That chick. Tongi the love or the Tongi needs to much women that Tina little women that I don't think it off.
In the great text, perfection of transcendental wisdom, in that text it refers to the emptiness as, beyond, words, beyond, thought, beyond expression. And here it refers to the understanding or mind of the ordinary being. To the ordinary being, it is beyond the expression, beyond, thought, beyond, thinking. And emptiness is the only, and it is the only subject that is to be understood by the wisdom of meditative equipoise. So other than that, so this kind of statement also to some extent, tells us that, even though we use word emptiness, but there is still kind of lack of complete understanding of what is the concept behind, this word.
Nyamja Tomba Tabi Tongi Sili. Nyamja Namkata with Tongi Sili. Pet Tongsang Namkata. The Tongsang de Chick Mona Jamevezondeji, Hayana Chumevizondeji, the Nigi Tombata Shigo Marwa. The Tombade Maranzu Nangundar Jendegi, Indigi Jembata to Motuba de Sigova. The Mazunangula Kare, Dembartuba. Tandarandu, Chapudu, Kesandu, Kinginidu, Dainidu Siaji, Yungdo. Tendigi, Jinchade, Tapet, Jembatadu Mendegi, listen, Sungor.
So here, to the wisdom of meditative equipoise, the emptiness, it doesn't simply mean that what, the word generally kind of means. It doesn't mean that lack of tea in the cup or lack of water in the container. It doesn't mean that. So as said before, to us, when we look out, the phenomena, all phenomena appears to us as inherently existing, solidly existing, independently existing, self-sufficiently existing. And we have that way of, appearance, not only of, the present phenomena or things, but, we say, many years before, things, are like that. So we have that kind of, wrong or mistaken grasping and attachment. And here, emptiness refers to lack of all these, the appearance that we have. Let's do 5 more minutes. Yeah. Questions?
There's a reference to Forders. Is that people, the lower
Forders.
school? Yes, Forders.
Forders 치료받아도 있어요?
네. 치료받아 니는 제말지단 따말 니치는 열에다 니온 되는 거랬어. 치료받아도 또또서 또 가시다 가만 하신다. 무슨 니니 세번 하신 기산 치료받아서 kel러를 조금 믿었은 거. 유루디에서 또서.
So Forders, the Tibetan word is the direct literal translation would be outsiders, which actually means non-Buddhists. And for the non-Buddhists, they are a school of thoughts, which actually, the text will tell later briefly that they are non-Buddhist school who accept or believe in a permanent existence of phenomena, and who also believes in nihilism. But Geshe-la said, although these schools are in the text, but nowadays there are, practitioners who holds on to non-Buddhist school, but they don't, exactly interpret the same way as we have in the text. So they have changed a lot, the non-Buddhists too.
가르자는 마수디 나 얘기하대 token barwa kun susata token barwa kun tuni isi garwa token barwa de loben leden jigi sonsomre oda loben leden jigi kona bagi karsa
Mutik bare sho kana moran la sho ro.
re mudi bare
Chiru bar jibore.
re chibare loben leden jinda nalen dagi kheba chambore mudi badang one dagi dindur chene mudi gtawa ha didi gu mudi gtawa da ha lebe konde genji cheba chambuji chadi yore kuntu sa ta tetu wala
The photos here in the Tibetan word, it says Mutekpa, which I asked Geshe-la again, it says the same as the non-Buddhist, the general kind of name for the non-Buddhist. And this whole, the text of Tenets is based upon the teachings or text of the great master Lektenje. It's a Loben Lektenje. I don't remember his Sanskrit name, but he was considered as the one of the most learned scholars of his contemporary, even of the non-Buddhist school. And he used, Geshe-la mentioned, the non-Buddhist, text, which these materials in this text is taken from. Toke Barwa is another name. I don't know in Sanskrit. Name of the text in Tibetan of non-Buddhist school. So in that is the original text of the non-Buddhist school where these concepts are taken from.
I thought orders were the same as stream enterers, which is like people who are starting to study Buddhism.
윤슈의 집을 그냥 윤슈의 집을 상소하는 것 무대보다 쇼라.
윤슈다. 말해 윤슈 주바 생데도 배 남배 터름배 Gindi nishu zadiyara, te nalati, juni get zadita, maritita, petaka.
Geshe said that is totally different.
So stream enter.
Yeah, stream enter, it's totally different.
Stream enter
Yunshu.
Yunshu?
No, but Arya, stream enter is
Yeah, Papa.
Papa is a stream enter. Papa is a.
That re, Tama Nyumo Kunjusum. So from the chicken chadiwa.
You can say that they are I have
Gindi nishu the chair, Gindi nishu Juba Jida Juneke Nebai Ganga Ingu Papa Shadi Chadia. Topical Nikibar.
There is a classification of 20 Sangha. And that is further categorized into 8 stream enterers and further 8 classifications. So stream enterers that you mentioned, belongs under that category. So there are 4 stream enterers and 4 resultant enterers. Yeah.
What's the sutra source for that?
Dokong garesa. Shuni gajik son bogje.
Din do mambene. Many issues that the pages will be.
There is a text separately, but Geshe said if you look at the sutra, it is in many different sutras. But the Tibetan word that Geshe-la mentioned is Gindin Nishu, 20 community of monks, or if you go further back, it's that transcendental wisdom, Sutra of Transcendental Wisdom.
Yeah. Tatagare. More than one. More than that. Kari Rave
Kore Shingande Pendande Wamade Chere Zion Tenzin Gyatsu Gyatsu Sidi Bado Tenjoji Jambo Bode Chidra Jambanda Kundo Zambo Teyante Eda Gungi Jezo Dalo Jen Gyawan Dita Tamje Rato Tekisun Shape Gyawa Tamje Owa Khala Chodo Ngaba Den Laki Kiri Tawa Tipin Gyatsambo Cheche Rato Owa Raiki
Tato Dad do Miduchi Samatangure, and in the Karsa, Tute Logur Majur Tezoi, Samatanda.
So after here, Geshe said, you can think about two more points. The first one is about the self, whether self exists independently or not. If it exists, the mode of existence of the self, and what is self, and where is self. The second is, you can look at yourself and check whether you are affected by the tenets or not. And if you are affected, then what is where your what is the way of your kind of thinking or understanding. So you can use this understanding and look at yourself and saying.
And Konduji Sheragiso, Ishigiso, sorted the Samatana, Agito Toto Slot, Mayabodani, to the Rashade Chilo. Rashade Injimiji to Tadi Ingwe or Mare. In a Rashade Kachimbuji.
And wisdom and merit, two aspects that we mentioned before. And also we said you can look at the literal definition of the tenets. Although this is a literal definition, but it is not necessarily same as the tenet itself. There's still a difference.
Oh yeah, thank you.